Welcome, everybody, to the Funnel Brand Podcast. This is your host, Grant McGaugh. I'm going to bring it back to where my heart lies, and that is in the world of technology. It is in the world of artificial intelligence and how that is changing our business environment daily, I would say even hourly, maybe by the minute, by the second, in what we are now experiencing in our world. Now, I am a part of the ICABA AI Accelerator program. You're going to see this live coming up on the Thriving Podcast, but this has been engineered by someone no less than Angela Reid-James. This is her baby. She has been working with ICABA and the Chief Servant Officer, and that is no other person than Mr. Jerome Hutchinson, better known as Hutch. We call him Hutch. Hutch has been doing great, but he is handing this off to Angela. We've got something very special. We want to enable our owners, our small business owners, our entrepreneurs around AI. This is very important. So before I get started on this tangent, I want to bring her to the stage. Please introduce yourself, Miss Angela Reid-James.
Thank you, Grant, and I'm so honored to be here. I found myself, first of all, I started my company, Angela Reid-James Consulting, out of necessity, as many of us do. In August 2023, I found my position, my pretty high level position, eliminated with corporate America. And after several hundred applications, decided, okay, I need to pivot and decide what I want to do next. And decided to take all of my years of experience and bring them to small business, to nonprofits, to those organizations who need to know the tools and the tips of efficiency, but can't necessarily afford to hire the bigwigs, the experts. And I wanted to be able to bring them some of those techniques, some of those strategies to help them grow. And aligned with the AI accelerators, because this is going to be a key component to the small businesses, to the entrepreneurs. It is going to be what's going to make them capable and give them the capacity that they need to grow. So I'm really excited about what we're doing because AI is here. AI is now. It's not anything that we can ignore. It's not anything that's going to go away. So you need to learn how to embrace it and utilize it in a way that's going to benefit you the best.
That's so important. And you bring up some great points. And we have some alignment in what you just talked about, part of your past or history, working in corporate America, gleaning and getting a lot of great knowledge and wanting to bring that back to some of our small business owners so they can be equipped and grow bigger, scale longer, and actually be more impactful. And I want to ask you this, when you look at the current landscape of entrepreneurship, and the question would be is, why do you believe AI is no longer optional, but essential for Black business owners?
As I said earlier, it's not going away.
Mhm.
It's not going anywhere. It's here. But for the Black business owners, it's going to fill the gaps that we have as Black business owners. We don't have the safety nets that most larger businesses have. We don't have the larger budgets. We don't have the larger staffs. We are trying to scale up. We're trying to run our businesses. We're trying to move forward without all of the resources that the bigger, larger corporations have. And so AI enables us to fill some of those gaps. You don't have a marketing team. You don't have that strategist. You don't have that executive administrator. You don't have that project manager. AI has the capability to fill all of those positions for you without you having to fill them with payroll. They're able to You're able to utilize AI, and there's various tools of AI to use. Many people know ChatGPT, but there is a gamut of tools that fill all of those different areas that you can use to give you that full team that you need to grow your business, to scale your business. You can use it to bounce ideas off of. So it is exactly what the startup business needs, what the growing business needs, what that long-term business needs when they're trying to reinvent themselves. It is that singular tool without the huge payroll and budget that will afford you the capability and capacity to move forward.
That's so important what you just laid out. This is a changing landscape. We just talked about both of us just a little bit like, hey, we've both gone through downsizing. There will be massive downsizing during this shift into a AI-driven economy. Not because you're no longer valuable, you're just going to have to reshape your value in a different way as you bring it to the table. I don't want people, this is an analogy I thought of last week when when we're looking to build, we're looking to scale, is that we're not reinventing a taxi company in a Uber driven world.
Right,
I'm going to say that
right,
again. We're not going to reinvent a taxi company in a Uber driven world. So we need to
exactly.
address some of these common myths, these common fears, as we hear some of these things coming from, and I've heard a lot from Black professionals around using AI. That's going to replace me. Hey, this is inauthentic. It's not human. How do we keep people focused, and how do you specifically help them to shift from fear to ownership?
Some of the bigger fears, and I have people who have said, well, I'm not a real techie person. It's not about the technology. And that's one thing that we keep having to say. AI covers every level of where you are. And that's one of the few tools that you don't have to have a great learning curve to use it. From the minute you log into certain AI tools, you can begin using it. When you upload or open up a chat GPT, the first thing it says is, ask me a question. And once you ask it the question, you're up and running. From day one, you begin to see the benefits. So that's the whole thing about it. Be curious, play with it, ask it a question and see what it gives you back. And from that question, and this is the great thing about it, machine learning, which is a technical terminology, machine learning is simply it continuing to learn based on the inputs and the outputs and the inputs again. So the more you train your dragon, the more you feed it, the more it learns who you are and is able to respond in kind. So you need to just talk to it like you talk to somebody else. Now, I know people get a little nervous. Well, you're asking me to develop a relationship with technology, but this is why it's important to humanize AI because it removes that fear factor of it being just another machine or just more technology. When you humanize it, then you find that it becomes a partner that enhances your own value. It's going to help remove that busy task work that you hate to do so that you can focus on being the genius that you are. It can replace your busyness, but it can't replace your specific genius.
I'm glad you said it just like that. It doesn't replace you. It takes the friction out of your business. And that's what you got to look at. I would advise our business owners look at it as workflow. What can I do within my workflow that I can now automate, that I can either speed up, I can take off my plate, and,
Yep,
and really focus on the things that generate revenue and value for the community that you are serving. Right. Let's take that out.
exactly.
Everybody gets the same 24 hours a day. How do you utilize that 24 hours? So that's what I like to take back. Step back, take a look at what you are truly doing in your business. And that if it's you, take a look at yourself. If it's your team, take a look at your team. What exactly are they doing that's limiting them from being more productive,
Yeah.
being more efficient? That can then free up time at the same time, free up revenue generating activities, because that's really what you want to be doing. And I like what you said earlier about the human dimension. Most deals, whether they are in person or virtual, are done by human to human interactions. You want to get to that level as quickly as possible. Because no matter how sophisticated AI really is, It is not human. So it's not going to replace the human dimension. And I understand this in the stack. And I talk about this at length at some of my talks, is that AI is very good at data. It's very good at information. Where right now it's not very good at is context. Context means knowledge and it means wisdom. That needs the human factor. You need to
Yeah.
give it that factor so it can take data information and repurpose it, whether it's in the form of text, in the form of audio, the form of video, in order to scale and 10x what you do, which is your wisdom and your knowledge applied wisdom and knowledge is so, so important. I see this as a leveling of the playing field because now we have
Yes.
all access to capability. We have access
Mhm.
to knowledge that we didn't have before in a moment's moment. So my question for you, Angela, is this: how do you see this? And take your whole context of what you've seen up until this point, working in corporate America, seeing what the landscape looks like from the Black entrepreneurial world. How do you see AI leveling the playing field or giving back Black entrepreneurs a competitive edge when used wisely?
Part of the challenges that we've had as Black entrepreneurs, as Black business owners, and even as individuals in Black corporate America is we haven't always been invited into the room. We haven't always had a seat at the table. I remember when I was working with a coach, one of the things she said was, and she repeated this quote from someone else is, when you don't have a seat at the table, you build your own table.
Mhm.
And in my own stubbornness, my first response was, well, why should I have to build a table? There's a table there and I deserve a seat there. Well, that very well may be true. But if they don't offer you a seat, if they don't make room for you, you don't have a seat there. What AI does is it says, okay, you don't have a seat there. You have to build your own table. I'm going to give you all of the tools you need to build that table without you having to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a whole contracting team together to do it. Um, when I say it fills the gaps and gives you the capacity that you don't have, that's exactly what it does. It enables those of us in entrepreneurship to have the team so that we can enter into spaces that we normally would not be able to do because we wouldn't have the capacity, we wouldn't have the time, we wouldn't have the bandwidth, and we wouldn't have the support that we needed to bring to the table the level of excellence that pushes us into that space. We all know that once we're given the right tools, we create our own opportunity. And once we've given that tools and we've created that opportunity, no one does it better than us. We just simply need to have the tools, the capacity, and the ability. And we don't always have the budget. And with AI, you don't always have to have that budget because you now have the team without the budget.
That's true. And the economy is changing. The
Yeah.
business platform is changing. The business landscape is changing, meaning I don't always need to have a W-2 employee. I can have a
Mhm.
1099, I have contractors, other people that are experts in their field. One thing I've learned, and you've alluded to this in AI, is that it shows you what you don't know. Like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not
Mhm.
the best at marketing, but I can market up to a certain degree. And I want people to really hone in what I'm saying. You can be able to do certain things, what I call DIY, do it yourself. You can get to
Mhm.
a certain degree. You can use Canva, let's say. Canva is another tool. A lot of people are familiar with it to do some marketing for you, make flyers, to make content for you, make visual dimensions. And then you'll begin to understand yourself. When do you need to level up? When do you need
Yeah.
a professional, a graphic
Mhm.
designer? And I tell you, people that, oh, I'm going to be displaced. I'm a graphic designer. ChatGPT, W2, they can do that. They can only do it to a certain degree.
Right.
And if you need that and that fulfills what you need for what you for what's important, the messaging that you're going to cross, then do that. But when you need to level up, you need to know how to then talk to a graphic designer, give them
Yeah,
enough information to where they're like, this is great. I don't have to pull teeth from you, to understand what it is that you're looking to do. Now you've leveled up the knowledge base across the platform to where professionally we can all work together. This is very important. So we're not replacing the graphic designer, we're actually uplifting. It's like, wow, I get your vision now. We're going to see, I call it a renaissance of content creation that's going to take place
yeah,
because of these types of things. And what you talked about from a business perspective, the language of business is finance. That's the language of business. And you can upscale yourself to understand what is that language like? How do I take what I do from an operational standpoint, even a marketing standpoint, and then talk in financial terms and utilizing my AI platforms to help me because I might not be at that level, right? So that's access to capital, that's access
yeah.
to capability. And you've kind of talked about how you fill some of those organizational gaps with AI. I want to ask you this in your view, what are three things a Black entrepreneur can start doing today to begin integrating AI into their business without needing a technical expert?
What are three things? First of all, just start. We tend to kind of hesitate or delay because we feel we don't know. Well, I'll start as soon as I get more information. I'll start as soon as I do. You don't have to do that with AI. And what I said earlier is really true. The minute you log on, you can start. So that's the first thing. Pick it up and start. Start thinking about what you want to do, how you want to use it, what you need to do. Just pick it up and start with the simple things. Use AI as a brainstorming partner. Ask it questions, explore ideas. Help it to make you draw out a plan. Feel it, and that's the great thing about AI. You can speak to it with jumbled ideas. You don't have to format it and make it plain. Just type in your random thoughts as you're thinking them, and it will spit it back out to you, organize, format it, and say, hey, here's a business plan. Hey, here's how you can organize this. Hey, here's what you need to do, and here's what you're possibly looking for. Do you want me to format it this way? Do you want me to format it that way? So it's a good sparring partner for your ideas. And then finally, it'll help you use it to build your brand voice. I spoke earlier about training your dragon. When you're building your business, when you're utilizing your business, what's the most important thing, and Grant, I know that this is part of what you do, is building your brand. People need to recognize who you are. And your brand is not just your logo, it's not just what you do, it's not just the name of your organization. It is the holistic collection of all of those things, plus you, plus your voice, plus how you speak, plus your customer and what you want your customers to feel and think about when they see your name, when they see communications from you. And AI can learn that and continue to reinforce that and continue to speak that. And you teach it how to do that. And it continues to say, building on your brand, let's do this. And building on your brand, let's do that. And it brings you so much more information to further enhance that. I want to go back to a point you said earlier when you talked about when you finally have to go to experts. And this is very important. So often, because we don't know, we often go to experts very empty handed and we say, we don't know what's going on. We need help here. And a lot of them say, well, what do you want to do? What are you trying to do? And we kind of get sold more bells and whistles than we need. We end up paying for more than we have to. We don't get exactly what we need, but we trust the experts because we don't really know what we need. AI will help you nail down exactly what you're looking for and what you need. at that time. So when you go to that expert, you can say, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I need. This is what I need from you. And this is only what I want you to help me with. That's a whole budgeting concept that helps you continue to stay focused, to stay targeted, and to stay aligned and not be oversold or underwhelmed when you go to the expert.
Absolutely. You get alignment, right? You
Mhm.
know exactly what it is that you want. And on the other side of the ball, they're not delivering something that is off the mark. That's happened
Yeah.
so many times. Like this is not what I was looking for. Like, oh, now you got to go back to the drawing board to a certain degree. So that very much helps. Now we are going to be doing a webinar podcast that's coming up. This is the second one in this series because this is so important. We're not just talking about AI or adopting AI. We're going to actually show you what to do, how to adopt this kind of technology. Talk to me about why this is so important to you and what would people get out of attending this particular podcast?
One thing that we've talked about in the AI Accelerators group is what I've lovingly named the Accelerator's Edge and what makes our group different. There is no shortage of hundreds and thousands now of people popping up saying, in order for you to understand AI, you need me to show you how to use it. You need me to help you. You can't use it without me. AI. That's a fear factor that I feel is being pushed through. And I feel that it's telling people you're limited in how you can use it until you get an expert to come in and show you how to use it. That's not our direction. That's not our goal. Our goal is to go to our community and help empower them to utilize AI in the way that will benefit them the most. We want AI, we want them to understand how to utilize AI intentionally to increase their own personal value. We want them to understand that we are here to partner with them. We are here to show them this is how you can use this. We want them to see the benefit in using AI. And we want them to understand that we are trying to shift and build AI so that it fits us. It's no secret that AI and that the origination of the data that was built into it was built on a bias. It's no secret. It's commonly known. It may not be commonly stated, but it's commonly known. All of the data that was put in based on information that's out there. So there is a tilt that is not fully representing the Black voice. It's not fully representing the Black intelligence. It's not fully representing the Black experience. So how do we correct that? Some of it we're not going to correct. There's too much data embedded in it. The very programming, and Grant, you helped educate me on that. The very programming of the system is that we won't be able to undo it, but we can build our own. And that's part of what the AI accelerators is really about, building our own. And that's one thing that in the Black community, we've got to continue to push for. We don't have to always just accept what's put out there for us. We can and are capable of building our own for us, by us. That FUBU concept is something we have got to continue to push forward because it then truly represents who we are. It celebrates who we are. It acknowledges who we are. And then it works best for what we want to do.
Absolutely, man. You're speaking to the choir right here. You know, this is exactly what we have to get involved. I think personally, I think we kind of slept on the some of the internet, social media, cloud computer era. We just weren't that involved. Now, if you go to social media, like, wow, I see a lot of Black people on social media. They are, but are we creating the content? I mean,
Right.
creating the applications for the
Yeah.
content.
Yeah.
That's so important. When you look at right now, look at the stock market, look at the major companies on the stock market. This was only created in the last 10, 14 years,
Hmm.
are digital technology companies. your Apples, your Microsofts, your eBays, your Ubers. I mean, you can go on and on. They lead and
Yeah.
dominate in this space. NVIDIA dominates because of where their chipset in the infrastructure world. A lot of people
Yeah.
they're like, what stock should I get involved with? This technology is what's taking place. We're moving from all the way from the agricultural age, the manufacturing age, what I would call the information technology age, into
Mhm.
intelligent technology
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
This is a big shift. If we are on the sidelines of this, it will not be good. We have to get involved with this shift and be intentional about it, right? And be creative about it. Because one thing I know about
Yes.
our people, we're very creative. Now,
Yeah.
how are we going to utilize that creativity, right? We've got to put it
Yeah.
out there. So now these engines, these algorithms, and these times they start pulling that data from us, and then it starts,
Hmm.
you know what? I can now emulate. I'm starting to understand where Grand Angela are coming from. Let's get that kind of content, available to them. So you don't
Hmm.
always have to then go back. And I'm telling you, to your point, I use AI probably every day, and I have to go back and retrain it. Like, okay, great, what you've put together. Now let's put some African American experience to this because
Sure.
like, wow,
Sure.
like there's all kinds of ethnicities out here. There's all kinds of cultures out here.
Yeah.
Not one
Yeah.
type. So I don't know how that always gets put out first.
Yeah.
But we need to understand, like, okay, I get it. That's who built it. But we
Yeah.
manage it, right? And without our input, it does not continue to go forward. So I'm very, very excited
Exactly.
about this upcoming AI Accelerator because
Yeah.
we're going to talk about it. We're going to introduce some of our experts in this field. And then
Mhm.
you have the opportunity to actually level up. We're going to be doing this in 2026. Like, okay, I know I need help. Remember what I said? I know I need help in these particular areas. How can I get the knowledge and experience from people who get it, and then I'm feel comfortable with? Then I can take my business to the next level. Would you agree with that?
I would 100% agree. Not only are you going to see all of that, but we're actually excited to have a demo by one of our accelerated teammates who actually built a tool. So we're going to get to see that. And the good thing about the collective force of the AI Accelerator team is all of the different superpowers that are present in that team, right? You have some who are gifted in demystifying it. I do not consider myself the most technologically mastering of the group, but I am the one that has the common knowledge aspect of it. I was always the person that knew enough to break the technology and then rebuild it back about 85%, or at least speak the language between the techie and the customer service person and let them know what was happening. You have people who understand where to start from the beginning. You have people who are able to speak to the expert that's been building it from the beginning. We have someone for everybody in that team to speak to every level of where you are and what you're trying to do. And that's what we enjoy about it, to sit in our conversations and hear how we bounce off of each other and the different ideas that come together in that room. It's just an exciting time. And we are excited to be able to bring that knowledge to our broader community and say, look, this is what we can do and what we are doing. We're not just talking about it. We are doing it. We are changing the conversation. We're not going to keep having the same conversation. We're having a new conversation. We're changing it. We are doing it. We are building it. We are owning it.
100%. I want to see a 10x change in GDP for African Americans in America. We're right now around 1.2 trillion. I think we can 10x that to 10 trillion
Yeah.
dollars.
Yeah.
It's about being intentional and understanding and getting the knowledge and the experience that we need. Also, the access. So important to get the access. And I will state this so that our business community truly understand tech of itself is useless. Tech
Mhm.
that actually enables you to accomplish a goal is valuable, right?
Absolutely.
So I use technology to enhance personal branding, to enhance business development, and to enhance investment banking. That is a tool it's utilized to amplify my skill sets.
Hmm.
Right? That is so important, and then refine my mindset. And if I can use it for those types of things, it's very, very important. I was talking to a Harvard professor, I believe it was last week. I said, before you really had to attend Harvard to get access to some of the curriculum and coursework and what was taught within these classrooms. He said, yep, you're right. Now I can get Harvard grade information, knowledge,
Yeah.
and experience from these tech-enabled tools. Whether
Yeah.
AI tech tool, these YouTubes out there, there's so much information. There's no longer that say, well, I just can't get access to the know-how. Like, no, you have to be
Hmm.
intentional about it. If you're really
Yeah.
intentional about it, yes, you can. And then what we're doing is bringing that as an aggregate, this AI accelerator as an aggregate. I can go here and really upskill myself. And I encourage everyone to bring a use case. Bring a use case.
Yeah.
This is how my business operates. And I will say this emphatically, it's about understanding your workflow, how your business operates from top of funnel all the way to the fulfillment, and then the reactivation of that clientele to understand that flow, and then where you can engage AI within that particular
Right.
methodology. That's going to get you a lot further than generically throwing some AI out there. This is one of the
Yeah.
biggest mistakes you're seeing right now, even about agentic AI. Oh, that's cool. I can make a duplicate of Grant McGaugh, throw him out there. That's all great and fine. But what messaging are you coming across?
Yes.
And what are you doing? And is this moving the needle forward from the value scale? Right, right. So for those that don't know when the AI accelerator is taking place, please, Angela, tell us how to tune in.
So we will be having our kickoff event November 18th. That is this coming Tuesday at 11 a.m. If you check in on Grant's LinkedIn, you can check in on my LinkedIn. You will see the post. You can click on that post for the invite. 11 a.m. There we will be on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, and also StreamYard guest link event. So there's numerous ways that you can tune in to us. You can also look at the Thriving TV channel on ICABA TV. That's ICABA TV. So you can Google that, and you can look at our first event that happened on October 24th or 5th, I believe it was, and check out the first one that we did so that you can see our opening session that leads into this one. And we are just really, really excited about this upcoming event and really want you to tune in and check out what's going on. You will not be disappointed.
And for those of us who are not familiar with ICABA and the ICABA community, the ICABA network, tell us more about the organization itself.
Absolutely. ICABA is a universal Black ecosystem. It was founded by Jerome Hutchinson and his late wife about 14 years ago. And what he wanted to do was to build a global ecosystem, like I said, of Black professionals, Black entrepreneurs who could come together and network, to collaborate, to coordinate, to celebrate together, and to grow. He wants these Black professionals to prosper through networking, through interactions. Each year, like HABA sponsors Black Professionals Month, which happens throughout the month of October. We just came out of it. I'm still recovering from that. But what it does is it celebrates our Black professionals, our Black entrepreneurs, our Black organizations or organizations who are supporting people of color. And it really does look at this ecosystem of people, and we link arms and we work together to support one another and interact with one another. And that's why the AI Accelerators group was born, to bring the technology arm into this ecosystem of support. There are other groups. There's a leadership collective that's coming out of this group, and several others that are going to be born as groups inside of this ICABA network that's helping to bring our Black community together as a whole, to support, to interact, to grow, to collaborate as a collective and continue to build. We have people in throughout several continents. In Africa, we have people in the UK, in Canada, and in the States who are working together to make this a wonderful, great community. And again, you can go to icabaworldnetwork.com for more information.
Awesome. Awesome. It will be, if it's not already, the largest online Black professional community in the world. This is where you can come and really get a leg up in your business endeavors. This is so important. Now, I have just one more question. I've got to ask you this question because I ask my guests this question. This is called real-time feedback, right? Angela, this is your first time on the Follow Brand podcast. How was your experience?
My experience was wonderful. This is my first time ever, Grant, doing a podcast on my own. Ever. So thank you for this introduction. And it's been very comfortable, very warm. You are a wonderful interviewer. You make people feel very comfortable, very warm, very thought-provoking questions. I'm honored to be your guest. It's been an honor and a pleasure working with you so closely. I have enjoyed your insight, have learned so much from you, but this is a great venue. And I pray that you continue to move forward with this, that it begins to explode beyond measure, because it is definitely what is needed in our community and beyond.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to thank you, and I want to thank your entire community, your entire network for being a guest on the Funnel Brand podcast. And also, you've got to tune in to Thriving Podcast. It is going to be live this Tuesday, November 18th, 11 a.m. Eastern to 12:30. Get to ask questions. Bring yourself to the table and
Yes.
let's all eat
Yes.
together as we get ready for this Thanksgiving, because got me hungry right now thinking about this. So thanks again for being a guest on the show. You can tune in to all the episodes of Follow Brand at 5-Star BDM. That is the number 5. That is star, STAR, B for brand, D for development, and for masters.com. Thanks again for being on the show.
Thank you, Grant.
You're welcome.